Crime is down.
But you're doing exactly my point here. What happens is each time people show statistics, everyone's saying crime is a problem. That doesn't make them feel better when you say, but it's not.
But they need a copper economy.
But again, that's a platitude. What does it mean?
The other thing that I will say is about AOC. She's been demonized as this too progressive, far left person.
AOC is definitely too left for the majority of the country.
Sunny Hostin is obviously losing her temper as her co-hosts continue to chastise her for her nonsensical comments. It almost looks as if she is there only to be insulted. You can clearly see the frustration on her face. As Sunny tries to explain that AOC and her ideals aren't far left, watch as Alyssa reacts with a truth bomb that leaves Sunny speechless. Look at it.
What does the party have to do to reconnect with voters?
Go ahead.
Why are you asking the Republican? I think the Dems should start. I've got thoughts, but I'll let you start.
I can
start. Look, young people were still the age group with the highest support for the Democratic candidate this year. So we can start there. I don't think that young people have necessarily left the Democratic Party. Yes, there have been some gains made by the Republican Party, but by and large, young people are voting democratically. The other thing that I will say is about AOC, she has been demonized by the right. And she's been demonized as this too progressive, far left person. And I want to try to set the record straight, because if she is too progressive, then the Democrats really are going to lose the working class, because this is her platform. The key issues: healthcare for all people, affordable housing, rebuild the unions, federal job guarantee, free public college, create clean energy jobs, pay parental leave, and expand protections for the LGBTQ+ community.
Their free programs include defunding the police, opening borders, allowing males to play in women's sports, and hiking taxes to 90%. Indeed, it is unquestionably far left. Let me take a nap, but let's move on.
If that is too progressive for this country, then that's a problem for the Democrats, and that's a problem, quite frankly, for this country.
That used to be a description of a liberal.
But the devils
Medicare,
are also...
healthcare for all should be an everybody issue.
But the devil's in the details, because a lot of this country does not support, for example, the Green New Deal, which would absolutely crush jobs across this country, wreak havoc on the economy.
It would create millions of jobs, actually.
It would actually make international travel virtually impossible to do because of some of the regulations that have been in place. From my perspective, as a Republican who didn't support Trump, this may sound weird, I think Democrats focus too much on Trump. People who were going to be with Donald Trump were going to be with Donald Trump. There needed to be more of a, this is who we are, this is what we're proactively fighting for. And I can think of 3 or 4 policies that were laid out by the vice president. She talked about this support for elderly parents. She talked about these first-time home buyer payments. But they need a
opportunity economy.
But again, that's a platitude. What does it mean? You know, I didn't know that by
a 90-page white paper.
But in this world we live in, when you have 3 months especially, I don't know that people knew what she was for. And then a lot of her positions in 2020, she was on the complete opposite side of.
Did her snarky comment catch your attention? If that's too far left for them, then America has a problem. And that is exactly the issue with Democrats. They don't engage in discussions, they lecture. They don't ask what the American people want, they aim to force their agenda on everyone to get them to comply. And if people don't, they call them names, shame them, and label them as wicked. In the most recent election, they used the same tactic, which resulted in their total loss. But wait, things get better when Sunny tries to defend herself by citing her opportunity economics. Alyssa successfully silences her. It's a catchphrase, not a policy. But what does it even mean? I almost fell out of my chair laughing so hard. Now, let's see Sarah Haynes explain why Democrats still dismiss people's real concerns as inconsequential. And in fact, Sunny proves her point right away. Look at it.
Well, I think Rahm Emanuel hit it right on the head in an op-ed for the Washington Post. He had 2 parts that really kind of stuck with me. He talked about with inflation stinging, school absenteeism skyrocketing, students' academic scores plummeting, Democrats consume themselves in debates over pronouns, bathroom access, and renaming schools, and adopted terms such as care economy and Latinx to win over voters. And I think what it comes down to is oftentimes Democrats tend to tell people what to care about rather than listening to what they actually care about. Because he goes on to say, you know, they tiptoe around issues like crime, immigration, homelessness, and then they quote stats, while meanwhile there's an uptick in carjackings and you have to lock up deodorant in CVS.
Crime is down.
But you're doing exactly my point here. What happens is each time people show statistics, everyone's saying crime is a problem. That doesn't make them feel better when you say, but it's not.
Have you looked at Sonny's face? I mean, that is comedy gold right there. The snooty, haughty attitude of the Democrats is driving people away. They have no idea that they even need to tone it down. But here's the problem. They can't help themselves. These people are obsessed with surveys, statistics, and the opinions of so-called experts. However, ordinary people make decisions based on their daily lives. You can't just throw a statistic at me and claim that crime is down when I don't. Remember CVS and Walgreens locking up everything behind glass under Trump? But now, it's like Fort Knox. I don't care what your spreadsheet experts say. I can personally confirm that the situation has gotten worse. And that's the core issue with Democrats. When you act like you're better than everyone else and pretend your policies have no flaws, you lose the ability to relate to people. If you don't share someone's concerns or opinions, you quickly dismiss them as irrelevant or uninformed. That's not leadership. That's arrogance. Now let's look at some truly ridiculous things Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg said about RFK. Look at this.
That make America healthy again. And it's been gaining ground with folks. But let me remind everyone that long before him, Maha was already Michelle makes America healthy. Okay? That's what she was doing when she was first lady. So it's not an unknown concept.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
So,
Now he's out there saying this, but do you actually believe anything he says? Tell the truth. I mean, they overturned Roe v. Wade. He said he wasn't going to put anybody in who back to Project 2025. A lot of people that he's put into this new administration believe that stuff. He said that grocery prices would magically come down. He already admitted that they can't very easily come down. Remember when during COVID, he said, no masks, you don't need masks. That was also BS. He attacked Dr. Fauci, who was really trying to help everybody. Yeah. He pushed deworming medication for horses on us. And the worst, the pièce de résistance, as they say, is he sent COVID tests to Putin.
Yeah.
That really ticked me off.
What tangible benefits did Michelle Obama's health initiative provide us? Let's talk about it. Not much. Children are still overweight. The prevalence of ADHD, autism, and learning disabilities is rising. Michelle Obama's efforts clearly fell short. Now let's examine Joy Behar's ludicrous viewpoint. Any reference to ivermectin as a horse dewormer is wholly misleading. It is one of the most widely used treatments worldwide. On the Joe Rogan Show, RFK Jr. went into great detail about it. Under federal regulations, the government had to ensure that no alternative effective treatments were available before fast-tracking vaccines. So they rejected ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine in favor of a $200 billion immunization program. It was pure corruption under Dr. Fauci's leadership. This is why Trump needs to investigate him, especially since Fauci admitted that the mask mandate and the 6-foot social distancing rule were completely made up. No science, just speculation. Absolutely wild. Now, watch Sarah Haynes try to persuade Sonny with some common sense. Maybe we shouldn't just feed people processed junk food and then send them straight to Big Pharma to take a bunch of medications to fix everything. Maybe we should consider alternative options. Why don't Asian cultures rely on pharmaceuticals for everything and yet still have longer life expectancies? But Sonny? Her response is the worst bad faith argument ever. Look at this.
One thing, Sonny, because I understand what you're saying about Western medicine, but there are Eastern traditions that are thousands of years old. I have a Chinese Western-trained doctor who has pointed out where the Western medicine gets it wrong.
Right.
We live in a country where crap is put in our food that makes us sick, and then pharmaceuticals come in and throw pills at it. So we're living in a cycle where it feeds the corporate greed to keep us not well.
I'm not against Eastern medicine, but I've been married to a Western medicine doctor for 26 years, and I trust him over anybody else telling me that what's making people have certain ailments, or if I need a knee replacement, I should just put maybe some kind of like herbal patch on it.
Hurry up. That's Such a weak argument. Nobody is saying you should slap a herbal patch on your knee if you need a replacement. That's not the point. Other cultures prioritize eating clean, nutritious food, which enhances human health more than any Olympian or drug ever could when a society is built around it. But here's the issue. Our society has chosen to prioritize feelings over facts. We've embraced body positivity to the point where we're told being overweight isn't necessarily unhealthy because we don't want to offend anyone. Sedentary lifestyles have become the norm. Junk food, no fitness, no exercise. And then we wonder why people take drugs like Ozempic, hoping for a miracle fix. They take it daily without considering the long-term consequences. It's a short-term solution to a much bigger problem. Nevertheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Sunny is practically the show's punching bag at this point. It's almost sad. So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.